everyone, my name's Haley. This is the first episode of the Mommas Crafty Corner. We are hoping to show you all of my works in progress that I currently have. So a little bit of a WIP parade. I've been knitting now for about 3 years, I believe, and crocheting even longer, 5 or 6 years. I was introduced to crocheting whenever I was young by my great-grandmother. Knitting I kind of picked up on my own, watching different YouTube podcasts. The Crazy Sock, what's the name? Kay the Crazy Sock Lady was the first one that I came across. And I actually knit a sock for my first knitting project. And it had a lot of mistakes, but my husband still wears it. And then crocheting has been a hobby on and off, but more consistently here in the past, 5 years. And I've recently started taking up sewing, so I'm going to show you a quilt top that I recently made and hopefully show you the finished quilt at some point. So we'll start off with the first project that I have, which is called the Millie for Men, and I'm looking down because that's where my notes are, and I'm sorry, I'm a bit nervous. And it's by Regina Mosmer, I believe it is. It is I'm making this for my husband in the medium size on US 6 and 7 needles. The yarn is Lion Brand Heartland yarn in King's Cannon. Let's see if I can show it to you. You can actually see where I have two different balls. I didn't realize that the lot was that different and I was not alternating skeins. So, let's see. It's going to be very pretty. If I can figure it out, I'll put a picture in. It is going to be a cardigan with pockets. You can see me starting the pocket down here. And it's going to have a big shawl collar on it as well. The second thing I'm going to show you is a pair of socks that I'm working for my son. I'm working them in tandem, so 2 at a time but on separate needles. And they are based off of the Crazy Sock Lady's vanilla sock on 9-inch. Things all stuck together. So these I'm working on a US 1 with Knit Picks Felice yarn, which is a self-striping yarn in the colorway Speed Racer. And I'm doing a contrasting heel, which you can't really see that it's different, but it's definitely different in person. This one's a lot darker than this one. And that is just in the black. I don't know if the color name is black, but it's just the black yarn from Knit Picks Stroll, fingering weight yarn. It's a 75-25 blend, superwash merino nylon. So that's the first one. And then the second one is right here. I'm past all of the gusset decreases. So in her pattern, this one has a heel flapping gusset, and I'm working it top down. So that's the 2 of those. The next one is a self-draft pattern that I'm making for my husband's co-worker, which is going to be kind of hard to see. I'm working it bottom up. She wanted a kind of larger sweater with holes throughout of it, so it can be a layering piece and a little bit more airy and not too hot. So there's the bottom. I'm making it to fit a 42-inch bust circumference, so it gives her a little bit of positive ease for her. So there's that one. Be excited to see how it's going to actually block out. This is the front of it. So I've worked a bit of the front. I haven't started any of the neck shaping yet because I wanted to work the back up to the proper length that it needs to be and do some neck shaping on the back and then join the front out once I figure out exactly how long I want to make it. So you can see the back is still a bit shorter than the front. This is also a Knit Picks yarn. It's in their Swish DK and the Dove Heather colorway. And I want to say it's 100% superwash merino. I might have a ball band. Let's see. Yeah. So it's a 3-weight yarn, 100% superwash merino, and it's in Swish DK, Dove Heather. I don't know if I said that the first time, whether it was Swish, I might have said Stroll. So the next one we're going to pull out is another self-draft pattern that I am working up. It is what I'm calling my anniversary shawl. So anytime me and my husband go away on a little getaway from the kids, I bring it and I work on it. So this is being worked on a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. Is that the, yeah, this is the front. So we have a bit of garter here, alternating with some lace work, and that's going to be this entire section. I don't think you can see the second section right here. My AC just cut on. I'm sorry if you hear that. Let me go turn it off. Hang on. All right, sorry about that. So, as I was saying, I'm putting this to where it's going to have 4 different sections. So it's going to be one corner here. You can see where the increases kind of divide. This is going to be moss stitch. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to switch it up. I do want to make it to where it kind of like switches designs like I do in this one part right here in the main body of it. And I'm doing that on both sides, and as I figure it out, I'll let you know. This one I don't pull out often, so you probably won't see it for a while. But there's that one. And the yarn is, I don't have the skein anymore, but this is big old cake, and I don't remember if it was a Caron Simply Soft or if it was one of the Jumbo Lion Brand Mandala yarns. But I got this whenever, I got this whenever it was on sale at Joann's. So I'm not quite sure. I don't think they have them in stock anymore, and I don't know the name of it. But if I can find it, I'll put it in the description box below. Okay. And then I do have a Cozy Memories blanket that I'm probably not going to keep going on. If I can figure out how to put a picture in of it, I will. I might turn that one into just like a pillow cover or something like that. I'm not enjoying that pattern as much. It's called the Coziest Memories by Kemper Way. And it's worked on a US 2. So I'm not really enjoying that one. So that one's either going to be turned into a pillow or something small that my daughter can use for her babies whenever she gets a little bit older, for her dolls. The next thing I'm going to show you is a self-draft blanket that I'm working on just for funsies. See if I can come up with something. So it's just a little square right now. I did a garter center with stockinette on the outsides. And this is the only one that I have to this stage, and then I have this other little one that's just the garter. Now these are all going to be worked in 100% acrylic yarn. This blue one here, let's see, I have it written down. The blue one is in Caron 1 pound, and it's in Ocean. And the white is also Caron 1 pound in Off-White. And this one right here is in Big Twist, the wine colorway. These are all leftovers that I have from making my newborn nephew a baby blanket. So I'm just, I had a lot left over because I was doing a different pattern, but changed my mind on doing that pattern because it was going to take too long. So I have a ton left over and I want to use them up. And so as I figure out where this is going, I'll kind of keep you updated. I don't know if I'm going to keep all the white edges and then join them some kind of way, or if I'm going to add more around it. I have one more color that's with this combo. It's in the rust colorway. I don't have it with me. And that one is also a big twist yarn. Okay. And then I have another knitting project that I just started yesterday that I'm having a lot of fun with. It is called, I think it's Cercis by Mille Designs, something of that nature. And I'll put that in the description box since I don't know the full name. It is a summer tee, and I want to say it's a free pattern. And it has lace work on the arms and underneath the arm. So the entire sleeve is lace, and underneath on the body, underneath the arm is lace. And it's all worked top down in a raglan style. The needles I'm using is a US 4 3.5. And the yarn is a new to me yarn that I've been wanting to try. It's called, what is it called? I think it's Bamboo Pop. And my daughter took my band out, but I'm pretty sure it's called Bamboo Pop. And I'll link that below as well. So I don't know the colorway because she took my ball band. But I'll have another one. So next episode I'll be able to tell you the color. But it'll also be in the description box as well. So it's barely started, just a few rounds. It does have charts, so if you do not like charts, this might not be, that's the lace work. It might not be the one for you, because all the lace work is charted. It's charted and written, so the written parts for the front and the back of the garment, but every lace portion is, I'm sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Every lace portion is done in charts, but the charts for me seem very easy to follow. It's doing very well so far. Haven't had any problems understanding it. And these little guys I got from a yarn store that is closing near me. It's called Pearly Girl Yarn Store here in the greater Houston area. They're actually in Spring here in Texas, and the person that made these is Pretty Warm Designs. So it came with this tin. Now I haven't looked them up. I don't know if they have an online shop, but I will see if they do, and if they do, I'll link it in the description box as well. Alrighty, I wonder if I have a picture. I didn't print out the first page with the picture because that was just the picture. And I don't have any picture of it, but if I can figure that out, I'll put it in as well. Okay, and so that's it for all of my knitting works in progress. Now we'll go on to crochet, which is only 2 things. Which this top right here is a store-bought top. I actually did not make this one. I do plan on kind of recreating it at some point with some of the yarn that I have, but this one's store-bought from a few years ago. Alright, so this right here, again, is another self-draft pattern. My other crochet is a self-draft as well. But they're just simple granny stitches. And this one is a shawl. I'm using leftovers from a top that I made my daughter for Easter. So this is yarn from Macy's Skeins. It is her, what does she call this? I don't have the bands, I don't think, because they're leftovers. It's in her fingering weight base. I don't remember what it's called. Just her standard 75-25 superwash merino nylon fingering weight base. I haven't seen her put these colors out in a long time. These were some old skeins from a few years ago. This first one, this pink, is called Cherry Blossom, and the green is called Lily of the Valley. And these were in a sock set because I was going to use this to make me and my husband some matching socks. They had the pink with the contrast color and the green with the contrast color, but the pattern I had in mind did not work for these yarns, and that's perfectly fine. Let's see if I can show you what's left over of these balls. So this is the Cherry Blossom. I don't know how well it'll show. So that's the Cherry Blossom. That's pretty accurate. And this one is Lily of the Valley. And I love Macy's Skeins dyes. She does a wonderful job with dyeing her yarn. And this was actually the contrast color for this one. That isn't quite as bright in person. It's a little bit more muted. But, yeah. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. Now I have a mini skein just to add, and then the one that came with this one is a dark green, and I don't know what I'm going to do with that one either. So this, I'm just going to crochet it up until I run out of yarn, making like a little shawl for my daughter. She's almost 2, so something that she can cover up with whenever we're on the way to the pool or coming back from the pool whenever we go camping. And the crochet hook I'm using is an E3. Nope, that's not correct. It's an F 3.75 crochet hook for this one. Okay. The last crochet project I have here, this is made out of Hobie yarn, and it was in their I want to say it was in their Black Friday sale yarn a few years ago. Don't know the name of it. I know it's 100% cotton yarn, and they make others like this. I don't know if it's the Sultan, but they're not twisted yarns. They're actually multiple strands. I don't know if you can see that, but they're not plied together. They're different strands that you knit all together, and they come from one actual cake. And it's a fairly, large cake of yarn. So this is what's left. This project that I'm working on, I'm on my second cake of it, and it's going to be the last one that I have for it. I was thinking about incorporating 2 more of a green that I have. The green kind of fits in with this area of another cake that I have, so I might add that in there to make it bigger. This is for my son. It is worked with a E-hook, which is a 3.5 millimeter hook. It is granny stitch. Instead of doing a granny square, I used a tutorial, if I can find it, I'll link it, on how to make it a rectangular granny instead of a square. So I bought this yarn with him in mind. Figured he'd want a blanket of some sort, and he just wanted something simple. So that's what I'm working on for him. It's not, wish I could show you how big it actually is. Let's see. So it's a good lap size blanket at the moment, which is why a little bit more than lap size. It'll definitely cover him from his waist to his feet, but he is a very tall young man for 11-year-old, and so I'm probably going to add the other 2 in just to make it that much bigger for him. So, alrighty. And then the last thing I'm going to show is my first quilt top that I've made. It's not pressed or anything. These I have less information on than I should, but I bought a pack of, they're called charm packs, and so it's pre-cut fabric, all cut to 4 or 5 inch squares, I can't remember, but they're all pre-cut. You lay them out how you want it, and then you sew them all together. I used a tutorial that I will link below. The lady is no longer making tutorials because she is no longer with us, but all the stuff that she still has on her website that her family keeps up is very helpful if you're interested. So this is what I have. So it's not very big, which is good because it was my first project of sewing a quilt on my own, and it's gonna be, like I said, like a lap size. You can kind of throw it on over your legs, make it a little baby blanket, so it might be handed off to someone, or I might keep it just for me. So I don't know who the charm packs were made by or anything like that. I got it from my local quilting store. So if you're in the northern Houston area, there is a quilting store in Conroe called the Quilters Quarter, and they're about to do it starts next month, I think, the last week of June. It's a 5-week course for quilting, and I'll link them below if you're interested in learning how to quilt. So that is everything that I have currently going. I'm sorry this is probably kind of rushed and a little bit discombobulating because I'm a bit nervous, and this is my first episode of hopefully many. But if you have any questions that I do not answer or that I didn't link below, please feel free to ask. I'm wanting to have more community. It's kind of hard to reach out to people who are interested in the same things that I am. I live in kind of a more country rural area, so I was wanting to build more community, tie in a little bit more. So it was wonderful having y'all with us here today, and I hope you come back. Have a great day.